You are watching the World Cup. 48 countries, billions of people, and somewhere in a booth high above the pitch, a television commentator just said the words, 4-2-3-1. You nodded. You had no idea what that meant. Here's the thing nobody mentions. Almost every serious team in international football uses a version of this same shape. Different players, different countries, different languages on the training ground. Same skeleton underneath. The reason is not tradition. It is not laziness. It is logic. Cold, ruthless, tactical logic. Here is exactly why. Start with the basics. A formation is just a number code. It tells you how 11 players are arranged on a pitch, from back to front, ignoring the goalkeeper. 4-2-3-1 breaks down like this. 4 defenders. They sit across the back of the pitch in a flat line. 2 of them are in the center. 2 are on the wide edges. Their job is simple. Do not let the other team score. That's it. Everything else is secondary. 2 defensive midfielders. These sit directly in front of the defenders like a second wall. Not quite defenders. Not quite attackers. Their entire existence is to intercept, to tackle, to recycle. They are the players who make the formation work and receive almost none of the credit for it, which is, if you think about it, a fairly accurate description of many things in life. 3 attacking midfielders. 1 on the left, 1 on the right, 1 in the middle. The one in the middle is the number 10, the playmaker, the connective tissue between defense and attack, the player who touches the ball more than almost anyone else on the pitch. 1 striker, alone, at the top, waiting. Here's the question that actually matters. Why this shape? Why not 2 strikers? Why not 3 defenders? Why not something more creative, more surprising, more interesting? Because football punishes imbalance severely. Put 2 strikers on the pitch and you leave gaps in midfield. Your opponent finds those gaps, runs through them, scores. Put 3 defenders across the back and you create space on the wide sides of the pitch. Your opponent finds those spaces, crosses the ball, scores. The 4-2-3-1 is not exciting because of what it does. It is extraordinary because of what it prevents. It covers the middle of the pitch. It covers the wide channels. It gives you numbers in defense without sacrificing numbers in attack. Whether you like it or not, the game demands that you solve both problems at once. This formation is the closest thing football has found to a solution. Think of it as a thermostat. It does not create heat or cold. It maintains a temperature. Balanced, controlled, functional at all times. Now here's where it gets genuinely interesting. And this is the answer to the question you have been sitting with since the opening. The 4-2-3-1 is actually 2 formations wearing the same clothes. When your team has the ball, the shape attacks. The 2 wide midfielders push forward and become wingers. The 2 defensive midfielders stay back and protect. The number 10 drifts into pockets of space. The fullbacks on the outside edges overlap forward to add extra width. Suddenly you have 6, sometimes 7 players involved in the attack. The striker is not alone anymore. When your team loses the ball, the shape defends. Immediately, automatically. Those same wide midfielders drop back. The fullbacks retreat. The 2 defensive midfielders form a screen. Now you have 8 or 9 players behind the ball before the other team has even had time to organize. 1 shape, 2 phases. No confusion about who does what, because every player already knows their role in both scenarios. That is the secret, not the positions, the transitions. The speed at which this formation shifts from attack to defense and back again is the reason coaches have not stopped using it for 2 decades. Here is the part most football coverage skips entirely. The formation you see on a tactics board is a starting position, not a rule. Sit down and watch a team playing 4-2-3-1 for 30 seconds. Actually watch it. Count the players. Find the shape. Then wait. Within a minute, the left back has pushed forward. The left winger has tucked inside. The number 10 has dropped deep to collect the ball. It no longer looks like 4-2-3-1. It looks like something entirely different. A 3-4-3 maybe, or a 2-4-4. If the fullbacks are both forward. This is not a mistake. This is the point. Coaches call the 4-2-3-1 a base shape, a reference point. It tells players where to stand at kickoff and where to return when things go wrong. But in between those 2 moments, intelligent players are expected to read the game and move. The formation gives them permission to leave their position because they know the structure well enough to abandon it temporarily and return. The rigidity is the freedom. You need a fixed frame before you can improvise inside it. Most fans watch the ball. Coaches watch the shape collapsing and reforming around the ball. That is an entirely different sport. Right now, at the 2026 World Cup, coaches are dealing with something they have never faced before: a longer tournament, more matches, more recovery days between games, more rotation across a squad of 26 players. That context makes the 4-2-3-1 even more valuable, not less. Here is why. The formation is modular. Change the striker, the system still runs. Swap the number 10 for a fresher player, the structure holds. Rest one of the two defensive midfielders, the formation absorbs it without breaking. You are not rebuilding the machine every time you rotate the squad. You are replacing parts while the engine keeps running. At a tournament where fatigue is as dangerous as any opponent, that flexibility is not a small advantage. It is a decisive one. The 4-2-3-1 is not fashionable. It is not revolutionary. It does not have a famous inventor or a romantic origin story. It is popular because it works, and it works because it solves the permanent problem at the center of football. You have to attack and defend at the same time, with the same 11 players, against an opponent trying to stop you doing both. 4 defenders protect the goal, 2 midfielders protect the defenders, 3 attackers create chances, 1 striker converts them, and the whole thing shifts between those 2 jobs faster than most people watching can follow. That is not a coincidence. That is design. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content.